I want to know who you got in your top 5, because I got my top 5 ready. And I know Ace got his top 5 ready. So who in your top 5?
Oh my gosh, you got money back, I see.
Because it's the top 5 every week.
Yo, we'd like to welcome y'all to another episode of Top 5, Week 3, when we talk about the best of the best in the NFL and fantasy and what we see on the field from Week 3 all the way to Week 1. To my left, I got my co-host.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Shoodah. Y'all know where to find us at, man, on Instagram. Holler at us at Tree Culture, at Tree Culture_Studios, and at Tree Culture Radio, man. If y'all want to listen to us during the week, every Tuesday at 7 p.m., we at live365.com/Tree Culture Radio.
Facts. We here, man. So we about to dive into our top 5. The 2 topics we have for today is quarterbacks and offense. And then we're going to give our picks. So we're going to jump off with quarterbacks because that's the most talked about topic in the NFL. Who's the best leader on the team? So without further ado, you want me to go first or you got it?
I'll jump right in, man,
Okay.
with quarterbacks. Mine's is a little unorthodox when we get to the bottom of the pack, and I'll tell you, some of the reasons why I chose the people I chose, and I like this because we just looking at QBs. At number 5, I got Jordan Love. I like this young kid, man. I've been saying this since week 1. As a team, they're 2-1. It's okay, but they're a young team. But I think Jordan Love, as a QB, he's 4th in the league in touchdowns with 7 touchdowns and 1 interception through 3 weeks. His QBR is kind of low. That's why I have him at number 5. His QBR is 69.2, and he has a 50% completion rate. So for me, that's why he's ranked number 5 and not ranked a little bit higher. But one of the reasons I even put him in the top 5, in week 3, he played the New Orleans Saints, which has a very good defense, and he was able to mount a comeback. So I like him at number 5. Number 4, I got the rookie, man, C.J. Stroud. Once again, we really just talking about his quarterback prowess and not his team, because his team's 1-2. He has 4 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. I think the 0 interceptions is big for me for a rookie starting in that offense. He has 906 total yards, which is maybe, I think, he's about 6th or 7th in the league, and he's averaging 302 yards per game. And keep in mind, he's doing this with a below-average core of wide receivers. His best wide receiver is his rookie, Tank Dell, which came out of Houston. So I got him at number 4. Number 3, I got old, reliable, non-winning Kirk Cousins. And why I say old, reliable, non-winning, because every year Kirk Cousins gives us what Kirk Cousins is going to give us. And through 3 weeks, he's been the same Kirk Cousins. He's 1st in the league in touchdowns with 9 touchdowns. He's 1st in the league in yards thrown through 3 weeks with 1,075 yards thrown so far this season. He's 1st in the league in average passing attempts, averaging 46 passing attempts per game. And he's 1st in the league in completions with 96 completions per game. So, Kirk Cousins, he gives us regular season great quarterback numbers. They're losing, they're 0-3, but as a quarterback, especially having that receiving core that he has, he's still putting up the numbers that he's putting up to put him in a top 5 QB bracket for me. My number 2 guy is Pat Mahomes. And Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes, man. Need I really say more? They're 2-1. They probably would have been 3-0 had Travis Kelce played game 1. We not 100% sure. The jury's still out on that. But he's getting it done with the least amount of talent aside from C.J. Stroud. He has the least amount of talent in terms of he has mediocre receivers. His best receiver is probably what's this guy's name? Vince Scalding. Mark, I can't even say his name. Marquez Valdez Scalding.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He has mediocre running backs in Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon. Some may argue McKinnon McKinnon is he's not a high value back in the league, and he still finds a way to win with the 1-2 punch. It's really just him and Kelsey, and he finds a way to extend plays and make it happen. And my number one QB is Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins. They're having a 3-0 start so far, but we just talking about QB stats. He's number 2 in yards with 1,024 yards. He's number 2 in touchdowns with 8 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He's first in the league in QBR with 82.9%. He has a 71 completion rate, and he averaged about 10 yards a pass. What solidified it with me is the mollywop that they gave Denver. 70 points, man. Like, we're not going to say it's just all Tua Tagovailoa, but he got it done. He gets it done, man. We call him Tua get it done, man. That, to me, propelled him in the top rankings, and he didn't even play the fourth quarter. He might have played like 1 minute or 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, and they put a shellacking on him, man. So I like him as my number one quarterback. These guys is my top 5. Tell me what y'all think. Y'all agree? Y'all disagree? We like to hear the comments, and we like to hear the feedback. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. We got similar players on my top 5. For me, I got C.J. Stroud at number 5 as well.
Okay.
I mean, from the numbers that he's done so far, I mean, you gave out all the stat lines, but the fact that he's a rookie in the way he's playing, and to beat Jacksonville the way that he did, that was a very impressive win. So you got to give him his props.
Absolutely.
At number 4, I still got Jared Goff up there, man. Jared Goff had 1 bad week and 1 pick in the last 7 games. That shows what kind of quarterback he is. So Jared Goff is number 4 on my list. If you just look at his stat line, he's having a completion rate of 69. He has 819 yards. He has 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, and he got a QBR of 70.8. And that's high compared to most of these quarterbacks in the league. The only person who's number 1 in QBR, of course, is Tua. So next to Tua, that's a big number. And Tua's numbers is 82.9. Mm-hmm. So definitely you got to give him his props. That's my number 4. At number 3, I got Patty. Patty's not number 2 for me. I mean, because not only are they 2-1, but their team on a whole is playing better. So I got to see more from Patrick Mahomes. He's putting up good numbers. But at the same time, without Kelsey, his numbers dwindle. So I want to see more from him. Number 2, I got Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's number 2 for me because Justin Herbert is number 1 in completion percentage. Tua Tagovailoa is 71.3, but Justin Herbert is a 74. Plus, he's actually less than 100 yards behind Tua in yardage, and he's only 2 touchdowns behind Tua in touchdowns. And his QBR is a 79 opposed to Tua's 82.9. Mm-hmm. Number 1, of course, is Tua Tagovailoa. Tua has been playing the best right now of all the quarterbacks in the league. And this week he's going to go up against Buffalo. So it should be a good week to see what goes on between the duel between him and Josh Allen. But that's my top 5. Y'all let me know what you think. The numbers are basically similar, and the players are similar except for 2 players. But we want to jump into offense. And we're going to talk about offenses.
No, go ahead. Take off.
Right.
You on the roll.
I'm on the roll. All right, so we're going to go with offense. So for me, the number 5 offense that I have on my list.
And by the way, those are some great numbers, man, in terms of, quarterbacks, man. Keep in mind, this is just through 3 weeks that we ranking these guys, man. And for me, there was a few guys that were, borderline in and out of the rank, but we got to take our top 5. We got to pick 5 only. You know what I mean? There was a couple of, probably for both of us, a couple of runner-ups that we probably had that was, we was debating about, but, we got to make them choices.
Definitely. Number 5, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs look good right now, even without good wide receiver play. They average 390 yards a game. Kansas City looks very good at what they're doing. Patty's looking good, receivers looking good, and they put up a whopping 41 points on the Chicago Bears this week. They're looking good. At number 4, I got Philadelphia, the second best rushing team in the league right now behind Miami Dolphins. Philadelphia look good. I mean, they're turning the ball over, but they haven't gotten things rolling as they should. But even then, for them to average 25 points a game in this league, they definitely are one of the best offensive teams in the league. At number 3, I got the LA Chargers. Justin Herbert and them are playing crazy. You look at what Keenan Allen did in fantasy, putting up over 45 fantasy points last week. And then you look at the fact that Mike Williams is hurt. Austin Eckler is hurt. and they're still putting up numbers at a fast rate. They scored 34 on the Dolphins defense. They had another big game versus for the Vikings this week. Their offense is definitely jam-packed. They are over 400 yards a game. Definitely a great offense. At number 2, San Francisco 49. What need I say more? Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and then also you got Brock Purdy. 49ers are the second best offense in my mind. And at number 1, the team that scored 70 points this week, the Miami Dolphins, to get 200 yards from their rushing backs, and then to also get another 350 yards from their passing game. The Dolphins right now are the best offense in the league. There's nothing you can do with them. And that's just a tribute to their coach Mike McDaniels, running the same similar offense to what the 49ers are doing, but having 4 players that run a 4-2. There's nothing you can do with that. You got 4 players. A-Chain runs a 4-2, Waddle runs a 4-2, Moisture runs a 4-2, and Tyreek runs a 4-2. So everybody you throwing the ball to can run as fast as Deion Primetime Sanders. That's a fast offense. Right. Shout out to the Dolphins.
Fastest team in the league. We got some similar people, man. My number 5 is a little bit biased when we look at the numbers, man, and what they've been doing. Number 5, I got the Baltimore Ravens, my squad. We're actually 2-1, but we should have won this. We should have won against the Colts this week. And one of the reasons why I got them as number 5, they outrank their previous 3 opponents that they played, 64-56 in first downs. They outrank in rushing their opponents 474 yards to 277 yards offensively. In passing, they outranked their previous 3 opponents 608 yards to 600 yards. And in touchdowns, they are 8-4 with opposing teams that they've played through 3 weeks in touchdowns. So offensively, they are really outplaying their opponents on the offensive side of the ball. We don't know what the future is going to bring, but through 3 weeks, I think their offensive numbers, and mind you, they've had a few setbacks with J.K. Dobbins going out for the season. Odell Beckham was hurt for 1 game and had to leave. They make it happen, and they get it done. And if they continue along this streak, I think they'll be a force to reckon with. Number 4, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Offensively, man, like I said, it's Patty Mahomes, man. And once you got Patty Mahomes, it's almost like you got a little bit of a cheat code, man. He seems to not always have the best players, but he always finds a way to win. And offensively, I think that they're clicking. I think after game 1, Kadarius Toney missed all of those passes for them to possibly put that game away. And had they won that game, they would be 3-0 right now as well. So I think the 1 loss kind of can't propel them any higher than number 4. But like I said, they got a mediocre core of running backs. They got a mediocre core in receivers, except for Valdez-Scantling. And they got a powerhouse tight end. I mean, other than Tom Brady, it seems like this guy, Mahomes, like, you can mix and match any above average receiver or running back into his system, and he got his big guy Kelsey, and all he do is win no matter what. You know what I mean? So I really like him. Number 3, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. This week, the Eagles have shown why offensively they're a powerhouse. One of the reasons I say it is that when you take away their passing game, they ground and pound old school football. And with Gainwell and DeAndre Swift, it's pretty hard to stop them guys, man. And that offensive line, they open up them holes probably like none other that I've seen, man. They don't really need as many moves as some of these other top-tier running backs because the offensive line opens up the holes so much for them. They do have a few blemishes on their offensive play calling that I give them. But overall, it's going to be very hard to beat them because they have a lot of offensive weapons as well, just like the rest of the top powerhouse teams. And it's gonna come down for me whether they move up or down in the rankings if they can stay healthy and if they can continue to figure out a way to keep on winning when the defense takes away some of their strengths. Will they continue to use some of their other abilities and make them strengths game by game? You know what I mean? Number 2, I got the 49ers, and one of the reasons I got them up there is because it's hard to not say a top-ranked offense is not a 3-0 starter. They're 3-0, and we thought that coming in, their defense would be a lot better than it is. And their defense is holding up. But I think that their offense on a better scale right now than their defense. You know what I mean? They're not really shutting teams out and holding them to a bunch of points. But their offense is getting it done. And just like the Philadelphia Eagles, they have a lot of weapons, man. They have Christian McCaffrey. They have Brandon Ayuk. They have George Kittles. They have Deebo Samuels. So you have a well-balanced team that Brock Purdy can average 225 yards a game, and they possibly can still win every single game because they have so many. Brock Purdy as a quarterback, he doesn't have to do anything spectacular. He doesn't have to average 400 yards a game because you have so many playmakers that can get you yards after the reception. You know what I mean? So I like them as my number 2. And number 1, I have the Miami Dolphins as well, man. I think that there's going to be a lot of tests this season for the Miami Dolphins because they have a hard schedule. But I think through 3 weeks, man, they've shown us that they should be the top team. And I think it's solidified with this 70-point win over the Denver Broncos. They are the first team ever to have 350 rushing yards and 350 passing yards in the same game. There were 10 touchdowns scored in this game. 5 rushing touchdowns and 5 passing touchdowns. They have, for the season, as a team, 1,651 total yards. And they have a top-tier quarterback, in which now the odds in Vegas is saying that Tua is the number 1 favorite to be the MVP for this season if he can stay healthy. If they can stay on this path, I think offensively, I think they're definitely a force that's going to be reckoned with in this league, man. They got, like you said, they got 4 of the fastest people in the league. They're the fastest team in the league. You got Tyreek Hill running a 4.2. You got the rookie running back, Achane. He's running a 4.2. You got Montserrat running a 4.2. Like, it's insane, the speed of this team, man. And just like the 49ers, even though Tua Tagovailoa is putting up a lot of yardage, I don't think that he has to put up a lot of yardage in order for this team to win. Because even when they played New England, it showed because Bill Belichick took away Tyreek Hill and they found a way to get it done on the ground with Tua Tagovailoa only having 200 or something yards. And I think that's the beauty of the Miami Dolphins.
But they're running the same offense. So it's the same offense. They basically, Mike McDaniels was the running back coach for 49ers. So it's the same offense.
Definitely.
Morsher was a running back from the 49ers, so they're just running the same offense.
Definitely.
Only difference is he just put faster players in the offense. Now,
definitely.
And that 49ers have a better tight end.
Yeah, and I mean, it shows we can see it. We can see it in terms of the similar offense.
The same
you know
offense,
what I mean?
Yeah. The way they run Christian McCaffrey is the way they run Moisture and A-Chain.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Definitely looking good. But let's make the best. What's your best pick of the week, man?
I hate to be biased, man, but I'm going to go back with the Miami Dolphins again. I think for them being the number 1 team, in my book, they are the underdog coming up this week against the Buffalo Bills. Granted, you put up a stat recently that said, Tua Tagovailoa is 1-5 against the Bills when playing in Buffalo. I just think it's a different time now, and I think maybe that's the reason they have it like that. But I think for me, for them being the number 1 offense, and for them last week putting up 70 points, I just think that is a little bit crazy for me. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So I think for that game, and I'm taking the Dolphins with the 2.5 or 3-point spread, whatever it is, it's going to fluctuate. But I like the Dolphins. And I possibly like the Dolphins' money line to win outright against them. Yeah, I like them.
I ain't going that far into them because the last time he went to Buffalo, he got hurt. His fingers was twisted and everything, so I'm not going that far. I'm just going to say this. We're going to see fans what happened, but I am going to go on the limb, though. I am going to go on the limb, and I'm definitely going to take. I was looking at the lines while you was making your offensive picks, and what I'm definitely going to run with this week, and this is a big time pick. Now y'all going to think I'm tripping. Mac Jones and them boys is going to stroll into Dallas, and they're going to beat the Cowboys.
You think so?
I'm taking Pats to cover them 7. Pats gonna go over into Dallas and to beat that Dallas Cowboys. Only reason why I look at it is this: if Belichick can hold a 70-point offense, the 24 points. He gonna roll into Dallas, and you seen what's wrong with the Cowboys. When you take out that cornerback, they can't stop the run. They lost Diggs, they can't stop the run. For all you guys who like to do player picks, Stevenson gonna get 100 yards. Go ahead and put your money on Stevenson. Raymond Stevenson gonna have 100 yards on that rush defense. And then also too, I didn't like what Michael Parsons said, because see, the thing is, people think I don't like the Dolphins, but I'm not a hater. I just call it like I see it. But I ain't like what Michael Parsons says. Michael Parsons says if Tyreek Hill runs his way, he gonna knock him out. He gonna hurt him. He gonna send him out on the stretcher.
Oh man!
And so now I want him to eat some humble pie for running his mouth. So I got the Pats winning this week. Belichick strolling into Dallas and making Mike McCarthy's offense look like it can't do nothing.
And listen, that's a big pick because we talked off screen, and I was saying that, like, you see the difference from the first 2 weeks to week 3 with the Dallas, and we talked about the Dallas offense ain't really give us nothing.
Facts.
They was really winning a lot on their defense. You know what I'm saying? And their defense keeping the opposing offensive teams off the field. Now they lose Trayvon Diggs, and they go in a game in Arizona, which the whole country thought there was going to be a mollywop. We had them as a favorite, and they get beat. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So I mean that's a big pick, man. For Dallas to lose 2 in a row, they're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah,
they're gonna be in trouble.
And don't be surprised if one of the 3 undefeated teams left, one of them catch an L this week. Could even be my Eagles. You never know. We'll see. But I believe one of them gonna catch an L this week. It's gonna be 2 undefeated teams by the end of week 3.
All right.
Week 4.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Y'all make sure y'all tune in each week. Top 5. You know how we do it.
Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment below. We're gonna look at your comments. We're gonna reply. You know what I mean? We might even talk about some of you guys' comments on the next show. So give us the feedback, man. We love to hear from you guys and know what you think. You know, tell us did we get it wrong? Did we get it right? What we did, which I like, whatever, man. But just stay in tune, man.
You already know.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Every week.
I want to know who you got in your top 5, because I got my top 5 ready. And I know Ace got his top 5 ready. So who in your top 5?
Oh my gosh, you got money like I see.
Because it's the top 5 every week.